Hi, I'm Mira Tzur, and I'm with Steve Owen on the School of Hollywood.
Welcome to Season 3 of School of Hollywood. We'd like to thank you for listening and following the Entertainment World School of Hollywood podcast. If you prefer videos of celebrities, they're available on entertainmentworld.us. Please take a moment and like the podcast and subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, you can just send us a DM on Instagram at School of Hollywood. School is now in session. Well, I got to welcome you here today. You look absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if anybody's told you, but I think you could impersonate the ex-president's wife.
I heard that before.
You actually had a little bit of time doing that for fun and some money, I heard.
Yes, actually, it took me for 3 years. It was a great ride, and it came by surprise, but it was really impeccable, just because from the world of acting that I'm in, to take such a role and to impersonate her or be her body double or do all the things that she could have done if she had more time, it was exciting. It was definitely lucrative, and I had fun.
Fabulous. You wrote a book, Anonymously Famous, and it's about the entertainment business and getting started in the business. And why don't you tell us about the book and what inspired you to actually write it?
Sure. So Anonymously Famous actually originated several years ago. I was always coaching and trying to inspire and tell people how this business has been there for me forever. I started modeling when I was 25, really by fluke, I would say, by mistake, or by just a chance that I was a dancer most of my life. I was a musical theater dancer and a fitness instructor, and FLOTUS recruited me. And from there on, I started doing fitness, and fitness led into had my son, so mommy and me. And from there on, I got into the high tech, and all along, I just did a lot of different advertisement. So that brought me to modeling. And I never considered myself a model. So it was just hard to say it. And because it was there for me for the past 25 years, I said, let me just put some thoughts together into what it takes to be in this business and how you can do it without being, Gigi Hadid or Giselle or any of the tall, beautiful fashion models that are very young, started very. So the book came about several years ago, but really over COVID, it became a book, and I got a publisher and I put it together because I thought of doing a reality show. It was a perfect reality show, and maybe it will be one day. 8 episodes, like each one talks about different trend of it. And I kind of want to say more, but
you can say more. Yeah.
No, I can't say more about the reality show concept. But I can definitely say this. So the book is about, it really gears to the 99% population versus the 1% genetic freak of nature. I said it all the time because I want to inspire people to dive in and to know that there's really a lot of different categories, such as print modeling, commercial modeling, petite modeling for small people that do all the airplanes and the furnitures, and most of the agencies are out of town. I'll talk about that in a second. There is mature modeling, which we know very well. I mean, nowadays specifically, the baby boomers are booming. Lots of the older generation and beautiful models are just kicking butt. I mean, we're talking about Carmen de Lofis and Iris Apfel. She just turned 101. Love her. And even Elon Musk's mom, May Musk. I mean, so all of them really created a trend several years ago. And if you think of it, the Fortune 500 companies, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people that actually represent the brand, that actually can afford the boat and can afford and can look like the grandma doing the insurance or depends, the diapers or whatever it is. I mean, you really have to gear into the product. So the book is talking about how you would know yourself and get to know yourself. First, your ethnic background. Who you are, basically. If it could be Hispanic, Caucasian, European, Middle Eastern. What categories do you allow yourself to, your background? And then the second thing would be pretty much like the typecast or the category. What can you stand for? I mean, are you like a soccer mom, hip and cool, blue collar, social worker? Like, what are you? So you put that together, and then you go for the age range, which usually go for 7 to 10 years. So you're not going to go to the same jobs of 25 to 35 if you're 35 to 45 and vice versa. And you go on. And this category is for 55, 65. And I'm looking forward to, 99. So really you go with the age range of appropriate age range. And the next thing would be basically your bag of tricks.
And, and one of the keys of the acting is actually finding what you are actually fit for.
Yes.
And that is, one of the mistakes that a lot of people think. They can go, well, I can play 18 to 48 years old. No, you can't. Nobody's going to bring you in for 18 and then also bring you in for 48. And you have to, one of the hard things for actors is to realize their age range. Somebody 40 years old thinks that they can still play 18 years of age. There's that 18-year-old that is fresh and new, and everybody wants to put them in the modeling world, and they miss a lot of opportunities that are actually in their age range, which they could actually book.
And it's actually sad also because, like someone like me, obviously, we're trying to look our best. We're trying to be a model of example at any given age. That's kind of like my motto, my philosophy. Like every age, try to be a model of example, right? Because what is example? In a dictionary, it's really it's being a model that could be copied because of his stature, because of his excellence. So I'm saying I don't want to flatter myself, but I know I don't look the age of my age. Okay. So yeah, in a way, it's a blessing and a curse, because why would someone take me for the age I am if they can take someone in that age? And it goes same ways for the older and for the younger. So I get it. On the same token, one thing I learned as I got older, and I'm definitely sticking to it, I can't fit the dress. The dress will have to fit me. So in order for me to always try to match what people want from me, it just doesn't work. I have to be me, which takes a lot of work knowing who I am. And then with that in mind, create my own projects, create my own dress, create my own environment and people and projects. And it's hard, but that's what it is. Freedom is, cost a lot in all efforts.
Exactly. Well, I got to see a clip of you in a Fox TV show. You're playing an FBI agent.
Okay, on Fringe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. It was with J.J. Abrams, and it was fun just because, thinking of it. Oh, I'll let you talk about it. Thinking of it, just that clip with inserting the chip, I thought of it after now with COVID and everything that everyone talks about, political and the chip and, the numbering and all that stuff. It's like so ahead of the time.
Unfortunately, a bad ending for you in it, but
yeah. Okay, it was fun while it lasted. It was only a week of shooting for that little, but it was great because time-wise I was busy with another project, so it was perfectly. It worked perfectly.
Well, on your acting, you've also created your own production company. Being a female, what have you found as far as like difficulties or things that have been extremely easy for you in the business-wise? Well,
the production company was founded in 2011 because I just finished another acting school. I've done 3 different acting schools, but the last one kind of made me want to acquire more intellectual property and basically be the star of it, like anybody else, right? So sure enough, and mostly with theater, sure enough, I started getting IPs, and I couldn't put myself in because I felt that I'm not a big name, and I should just take celebrities and bigger names, and I did that. So I started producing more than acting, and moved a little bit from to the behind the scene. Long story short, we did a lot of different theater pieces. Moved to short films and documentaries and all kinds of other projects. Now we are focusing mainly on films that I'm acting and producing, and I really would love to do more stuff overseas, mainly Israel, only because I'm from there. My parents got old, and I just wanted to spend more time there, and I really feel that the Israeli filmmakers are rocking it. I mean, it's just unfortunate they don't have the budget that America has, but they're rocking it as far as content. I mean, the country is very complex. There's a lot of different diversity and backgrounds, and it's a young country. So the stories are worth telling.
Well, you're actually in the military over there, and you're required to join, and you're a counterintelligence officer. You're the female James Bond. And do you drink martinis, shaken or stirred?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. So with all that training and the methods, how do you protect the confidentiality of a film or TV project that you have?
How do I protect?
Yeah.
Well, I think like anything, everything is timing. You can't really, I believe you can't really protect it. You can protect it for a little while. But at the end of the day, you got to hurry up. You got to hurry up and you got to, sign, of course, the legal right papers. But know that know that this project is yours because you're the original. And if there's going to be copies after, that's okay, as long as you get your project first. So not so much worrying about somebody's copying you, but worrying that you're going to be the first one to do it. That's really important to me. And talking about the army, the part was very secretive. Obviously, we worked night shifts, and we were back then. I spoke fluent Arabic, which is amazing. So I was translating information, and it was time of a war, another war, and being secretive and keeping the information to yourself is very important.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about it, because one of the mistakes that a lot of young independent producers make is that they think everything has to be under NDA. As they're going out to investors, you can't have investors going and signing NDAs on these. It's one thing if you're Marvel and it's $100 million movie, but if you're a lower budget movie and you want somebody to sign an NDA before signing to read a synopsis or anything on your movie, they're not going to waste the time because there's 100 other films that are in the wings. And that's what I'm talking about. Like in the secretive world, is that people think that they've got the only thing that's never been done, but I guarantee it's been done. Somebody has done it somewhere.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that because I have two projects I'm working on, and one of them is, I'm not going to give names on much, but it's a religious project, and same thing. They don't want me to pass the script. They don't want to pass the concept, but they want me to reach out into my celebrity friends to try to see if I can get cast a role before we go into all the agencies. And I'm like, this is great, but it's very hard because you got to give a little bit more information. And on the same token, trust me, if they see it, it's because it's coming from me, because we have a relationship, not because of anything else. For them to even look at the project before they even go to the agency or the casting director, that's already a bonus for me, because I'm a producer, because I'm their friend, because we have a relationship. So yeah, we got a little chill about it a little bit, I think, only because I don't think I would want, I just can only speak for myself. I have so many projects. I don't have time to steal someone else's project, but that's me. I don't know. Maybe someone's waiting to.
Speaking of so many things that are on your plate, you have a clothing line, you have a makeup line, you have a food line. Question is, do you ever have free time?
No, I have free time, and I'm actually very much a social butterfly. It's funny. I live my life between New York, Miami, and Israel. And I really tend to have a group of people everywhere, and they keep extending. It's not like, if you look at my phone during the day, it's not like the same people all the time. I don't even know how I remember all my friends, but somehow I do know how to kind of keep it going and momentum with all of them, which is great, because I always try to engage them in what I do, whether it's a business project I'm doing, or whether it's branding or production or investing in something, or just creative wise. It's
looking at your Instagram, you're very much in the social scene on that. And what are some of the branding things that you would suggest for people that they can improve their social media?
Well, I tell you, my page specifically, I really think that I got most of my fans when I was doing Melania impersonation, just because it was all over. The exposure was beyond and very fast. So that kind of went viral. And from there, I took it, I continue with that. But either way, I think my way of growing my audience is definitely responding, commenting. Oh my God, people putting the likes. I don't care for likes. Who cares how many likes you have? Comment, engage. I do that all the time. Every time I see something, I try to engage. At least 10, 20 times a day, I basically comment on people's pages, and more than 3 words. The other thing is I like to, we have a word in Hebrew, lefargen. Lefargen means to just, good for you. It's kind of like a good for you. I pretty much do it every day. Like today I did 4 good for you, meaning there's a dancer I love, Arthur Miller. She's incredible. Every time I see her post, I gotta put in my story. What does it take for me to put it on the story? She's one of my favorite. I never met her. She's amazing. Another model. I'm not gonna flaunt names, but I'm just saying I did it for 4 people today, just on the way. What's the big deal? Why not doing it? And it's almost like it's just a beautiful positive energy to share. And if people did it more, I think nevertheless, they get more audience, but also it's a beautiful thing to put as a habit for yourself. This is a social network. Let's not forget it. It's a social network.
Exactly. And it's interesting is that the head of Instagram was talking about today in his live. He goes, we're not going to promote any web page that is private.
Private is hard. I get it, especially if you didn't start early. I feel like it's going to be so intimidating to do that, to jump in. So I get the one that are private, but I think if they're private, they're really not in the game. I mean, you can't play all the games. I always say you always win the game you play. For example, I moved out of Facebook. I mean, I'm there, but I hardly do anything. Why? Because over COVID and the political, craziness, I started putting my opinions, and some people did not appreciate it. So they came on my page, did not appreciate it. They started saying other things. And it felt like what am I doing? Fighting in my own home? Shalom, bye, next, I'm moving on. I didn't have time for this. So I didn't really use Facebook so much.
And that's a good point that you bring up, because it is important that if you start to surround yourself with a lot of negativity, you start to bring that negativity into your life and bring it out. And, get rid of the negative people that are, that end up on the social media for you. You are also very much into charities. You've noticed on your page, you have like three or four different ones that you're involved in. What are the charities that you're really excited about?
Thank you for reminding me what I'm involved with. This is great. I really appreciate it, actually, because I am involved with that. And it's just through the years, so it's kind of grow with me. Like you don't always look at your legs, they're there, right? So it's something that I've been doing for more than 10 years. Okay, so one of them is AICF. That's just American Israel Culture Foundation. Actually, it's an organization that gives scholarships to kids, mainly music and dance, to come to America and pursue the Juilliard and the performing arts career. And I was an alumni back in the days when I was a dancer. And so I've been just involved with them, bringing philanthropists, and doing a lot of the hosting through the years. So that's American Israel Culture Foundation. The other one is the Bali Children Project, which is really helping kids in Bali. I've been going to Bali the past, 15 years, but that was really more with my ex-husband, because he started that and I got involved through him. So it's supporting kids from first grade to all the way on after high school. So they have education because it's mandatory, but they don't have money for it. And the poverty there is beyond. And obviously, if there's no schooling, there's no education. You can't grow anywhere. So we opened 9 schools and we adopted kids, and one specifically with this girl. And because I got into it kind of late, I started just documenting all kinds of films, and then I produced awareness and all those little movies that actually raise more finance to funding to the organization. So that's with the Bali Children Project. The third organization is Burn Advocates. Burn Advocates is an organization that started with a lawyer that I know here in America that dealt with a lot of cases of kids with burn injuries. So it could be a situation that they got burned because of lighting Shabbat candles, because they're religious, or it could be because they're Arab or Palestinian and there was some bombing or explosion, or all kinds of different situations. The point is that they've been burned and their whole body is covered with scars. And unless you have the laser centers to cure it, which costs a lot of money, they really scarred for life. And it's not just scarred physically, they scarred emotionally. So this organization helps with the treatment and have 3 different camps, one in India, one in Brazil, and one in Israel. I got involved with that because of my network. And I basically started working with the Israeli camp to bring them musicians and chefs. And we opened the first pediatric laser center in Israel in Tel HaShomer in Shiba, Bet Cholim HaShiba. And that was 2 years ago, just before COVID. We brought 10 different chefs for a whole cooking experience. And if you think of it, those kids coming to a cooking experience where they actually got hurt and they're working with the world-renowned chefs. And we raised the money that we needed. Yeah, I'm saying that I'm involved in other things as well, only because I tend to go organically for what comes to my lap. Like, for example, I dealt with my parents get sick. My mom got sick several years ago, and I was lucky enough to bring her to a medical trial in Miami. So I got involved with the Sylvester Cancer Research Center, and on and on. Like, whatever comes, I always feel like, oh, okay, well, I guess God thinks that I should do something about it, then I will. I always see things as opportunity, which, again, it's a blessing and a curse. I mean, not enough time a day. On the same token, if it comes to my lap, there's a message there. So I need to be aware what is the message and try to find out.
Perfect. So where can people buy your book at?
The book is actually on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Anonymously Famous, A Guide to the World of Commercial Print Lifestyle Modeling. But I am working on making an audiobook, looking for the right accent. And I'm working on making a course out of it, because honestly, I didn't even think it was that much. But to be quite honest, a lot of people that read it that are not in the industry, they got a lot from it. And also, let me remind you that the second part of the book is really more about nutrition and fitness, because I'm a fitness instructor and I was and a nutritionist by trade. So really, I wanted to share my knowledge and expertise, and only to basically say that what worked for me or what works for every age group through the years. So,
and where can people find you on social?
Oh, on social, Mira Tzur, mainly Instagram. Yeah.
Fabulous. Any final thoughts you want to pass on?
No, I mean, I could go on and on, but this is great. I mean, you really tapped into a lot of things that I've done. I'm sure there's more, but we didn't talk about all the fun past and royalties and background and all that stuff, which is actually nice, because usually people ask me about it. So I'm happy that we're talking more present and future versus so much about the past. So it's a beautiful thing.
Fabulous. Thank you for listening to the latest School of Hollywood podcast. We'd like to ask you a small favor. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like it. And if you really liked it, please share it on your social media. If you have any questions about acting, music, producing, and directing, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at School of Hollywood. School of Hollywood is now part of entertainmentworld.us. Until next time, school is out.